Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the Illinois Tollway Construction Works Virtual Information Fair. Today, we will be hearing from Illinois Tollway, the Chicago Cook Workforce Partnership, the Northside American Job Center, Central States SER, the Bricklayers Union, and the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Union. Each presenter will give you some information about their organization and will highlight the services they provide and the opportunities they currently have. After all presentations have concluded, we will then hold a Q&A session with our featured presenters. Today's session is being recorded and will be made available on the Illinois workNet YouTube channel for you to refer to later. Our first presenter is the Chief of Diversity and Strategic Development for Illinois Tollway, Terry Miller. Mr. Miller offers the Illinois Tollway a demonstrated history of success, addressing complex diversity, regulatory, and commercial contracting matters. Mr. Miller has provided leadership in higher education, utilities, electric energy, municipal government, and the security sector for over 20 years. I am now pleased to introduce Chief of Diversity and Strategic Development for Illinois Tollway, Terry Miller. Terry, are you available to present?
I am available and happy to present here. Good morning. As you've been told, my name is Terry Miller. I'm Chief of Diversity and Strategic Development for the Tollway. In that entire title, there are only two words that matter: diversity and development. We need diverse workers. It's a fact. We have what's called a silver tsunami, where so many people who are in unions are ready to retire, and we need people who are going to replace them. And that is you. A little bit about my background and why this matters to me. Whenever I give a presentation, I always ask people, why would they listen to me? Well, you've got around 1.5 billion reasons to listen to me. That's the budget of the Tollway every year. Not to mention our capital program, that is $14 billion. That's a good reason to listen. Not only that, but the state of Illinois just passed a capital bill that gives you an additional 45 billion reasons to listen. We have this great quote at the Tollway that says, we want to be an engine of economic change. And what that means for me is that I don't just want to build a toll road on the west side of Chicago or the south side of Chicago. I want to build a toll road on the west side of Chicago and the south side of Chicago that hires people from that community, gives them jobs. And that matters to me because I grew up there. I grew up on the west side of Chicago and I wanted a better life. And I went to law school and I got an MBA and I got in a lot of student debt. What we offer is a chance to have the same kind of success changing your life that I was able to enjoy without the student debt. So at the end of this presentation, I'm going to ask you to do a few things for me. I'm going to ask you to register. I'm going to ask you to be prepared to pass a rudimentary math and English test. I'm going to ask you to be prepared to pass a drug test. And then I'm going to ask you to be prepared to work really hard. But that's okay, because I'm willing to work hard with you. Of all the things that my title represents, what it represents to me is I'm your partner. I'm your ally in this. When you win, I win. And ideally, you will take the journey from being an apprentice to a journeyman to a foreman to the owner of a company. And when you're an owner of a company, then we can have an entirely different conversation that's measured in millions of dollars. And no one's going to be happier to have that conversation with you than me. Now, there's a lot that I have to tell you about the Tollway, but the most important thing is that we want you to work for the Tollway. We want you to get one of these really great union paying jobs that pay substantial sums of money. We want you to invest in your career, and I'm going to invest in your career. When you need tools, I'll be there to help you pay for those tools. If you need boots, I'll be there to help you pay for those boots. If you need childcare, who can even help you with that? I'm in the business of removing obstacles. So please, call me on it. Hold me to it. Let's work on this together, you and me. So I'm going to ask that we go to the next slide beyond the introduction. There's a slide called the Illinois Tollway Driving Economic Opportunity. And this is really who we are. We're the state's transportation network. And we serve one of the most significant areas of Chicago. And this is where you hear that great line that we want to be an engine of economic opportunity. We're proud to contribute to our communities. and we're dedicated to providing safe and efficient systems of highways. Our biggest priorities include critical roadway maintenance and operations of over 294 center miles of road, 5 different toll roads across 12 northern counties. And every day, our agency serves more than 1.3 million drivers. Our priorities also includes the delivery of our 15-year, $14 billion Move Illinois Capital Program, a program that has created or sustained more than 80,000 jobs to date and an estimated 120,000 jobs when completed. And that's why I'm here today, because I want one of those jobs to be your job. Let's move on to the next slide. Beyond our investment in infrastructure, the Tollway's commitment to diversity and inclusion sets a pretty high bar. And it's my honor, my privilege, and my pleasure to serve an agency that's working to increase economic opportunity in the diverse communities we serve. Inclusion is a part of everything that we do, and we build on this foundation. We're guided by 3 principles that provide access and ensure participation. 1, we want to provide access and open doors for job and career seekers and businesses. 2, we want to foster participation for small and diverse and veteran firms and workers. 3, we want to assist firms in advancing their businesses to achieve their next level of success. The Tollway's Construction Works program is key to achieving these goals. It's key to training a new generation of diverse construction workers. And we want to see more and more of them included in our Tollway projects. Now, what's important here is this. I'm here to build your future. I want to see more electricians, more bricklayers, more painters, more plumbers. And you don't have to work for the Tollway to benefit from our program. I would love to have you work for the Tollway, but you don't have to. This support is here to build capacity in the state of Illinois. And that involves you. My ask at the very beginning was really simple. And I'm going to repeat that ask right now. And I want you to remember this. What I need you to do is be prepared to pass a rudimentary English and math test, to pass a drug test, to get registered, and to work really, really hard. And if you do that, you and me will sit across the table years from now, not as a journeyman, not as an apprentice, not as a foreman, but as the owner of a company that works in steel or concrete or iron. And we'll have a different conversation that's measured in millions about how I can put your company to work. That's my beginning. That's my end. I'll be here for the rest of the day to answer questions. And I hope you have lots of questions for me. The most important is how to reach me, and we'll make sure that everybody listening understands how to reach me for my assistance at any point you need. This is the best part of my job, my favorite part of my job, and I look forward to doing this every time I get a chance to. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Natasha. Natasha, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you, everyone, for attending today. My name is Natasha Benson. I am the program coordinator for construction initiatives with the Chicago Cook Workforce Partnership. I'm really excited because this part is going to explain to you how we have created pathways that are accessible to you in order to do those acts that Terry is requesting of you. And so the Construction Works is a free program designed to help you discover job opportunities in Illinois high demand transportation related construction industry. With a network of training partners throughout the Northern Illinois construction work advances access to comprehensive job training and promotes a path to long-term career success through support and retention services. So we do that by customizing trainings, offering career coaches, mentors, career planners, making sure that things are essential in growing in the industry. So making sure that you are able to get competitive vocational training and certifications as well. And then a host of other things too as well. Tools, supportive service, transportations, and also supportive letters to get into unions and different things like that. Next slide, please. So what opportunities do we have? So the different career opportunities are in equipment operators, carpenters, electricians, iron workers, cement masons, laborers. And again, how do we do this? We support you in helping with transportation, tools, application fees, and union dues, childcare, financial coaching, drug counseling, and also preparing you through our union prep exams as well. So again, our services are available in designated locations throughout the Chicago, Cook County, DuPage County, Waukegan, Aurora, and Rockford. So how does this work? So there's a few steps. The first step is that, number one, we're going to assess your training network across the Northern Illinois. So again, what locations and organizations are closest to you? And then the second thing is we're going to work hand in hand with the career coach for support and retention services. So again, having a mentor, having someone to help you navigate through these services is something that is really important to us. And then step three, learn through and in-demand training and apprenticeships. And then step four, gain a competitive advantage in rewarding construction works career. So these are the 4 steps that you go through in order to get into the CW Tollway program with us. And you can go on to the next step. Next slide, please. So if you look at this slide here, this has multiple locations of where all our delegate agencies are located throughout the South Suburban Cook County area. And feel free to screenshot that slide as well, and that information will be available to you at the end of this presentation. So how do you get involved? So some of the steps are, first, we have to make sure that you're 18 years or older. Be eligible to work in the United States, be unemployed or underemployed, seeking advancement in the construction industry. And then also you can complete our interest form, which will also be at the end of this presentation as well. It's an online intake form in which you complete, and someone from those agencies that are close in your area will be able to contact you. Okay, so Chicago Cook Workforce Partnership, again, that's where I come from. My name is Natasha Benson, and we're here to help you with those steps too as well. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Anissa from Equus.
Thank you, Natasha, and thank you, Terry. My name is Anissa Jakubovic, and I'm the project director for the Northside American Job Center at Truman College. Both Natasha and Terry talked about getting engaged about all of these opportunities that are available to you through this program. And our job is to basically get you connected to those opportunities. We are one of the 10 American job centers operated by Equus Workforce Solutions. Our mission is preparing job seekers and students for employment and connecting businesses with qualified employees. And we are the nation's largest and most comprehensive provider of workforce solutions. We assist over 1.9 million job seekers and thousands of employers annually in more than 32 states. We've been doing this for about 50 years so far, and we are doing this through the builded and trusted partnerships in every community where we operate. And in Chicago, we have, as I said, the Northside American Job Center and also the Healthcare Sector Center that focuses only on employers and job seekers interested in healthcare industry. Next slide, please. So here are some center highlights. As I said, we're one of the 10 agencies funded by the partnership and also part of the state of Illinois workNet system. We offer services to job seekers and employers and resources from many partner agencies under one roof. As you have heard me mention, we're here at Truman College, so we work closely with Truman College in providing services to adults and youth. We also work closely with the unemployment office, and we do this through organizing small and regional and individual job fairs to get not only job seekers engaged, but also the employers, partner agencies, elected officials, everyone that can help educate and enroll job seekers into this program where you can receive training and you can receive employment opportunities from the employers that we collaborate with. Next slide, please. And here's a solid list of services that we provide to businesses and also to job seekers. As I mentioned, the list with business services includes job postings. So regularly we get these opportunities from the employers that we work with, and not only in the construction industry, but this is one of our key industries, of course, because we have the Illinois Tollway contract with the partnership and also the CT and RPM contract as well. We recruit and provide virtual services. We also do job matching and pre-screening and referrals for those employers. We, provide skills proficiency testing and pre-employment assessments for those employers. And we also educate our employers on tax credits for hiring eligible employees that they may qualify for. And we do a lot of on-the-job training and work experience, also services that are provided to employers. When it comes to job seekers, these are just some of the services that are listed, but the main ones are career coaching. So if you enroll in the program, you will be assigned career coach who will walk you through the steps and how to
Make sure I'm muted, please.
Thank you. So again, going back to job seeker services, if you are interested in applying for these services, you will be attending orientation session, intake session, and Brittany, who's one of our staff, will elaborate on that. But once you get assigned to us and you start the process, you will be assigned a career coach. You will be able to attend job readiness workshop trainings. We will help you build your resume and also offer these and connect you to job placement that's provided by employers that we work with, and those that can provide paid work experience and on-the-job training. And one of the key things also that we provide to our job seekers is support services, or we can help with transportation as well as uniforms. So if you get a job and you need to get to work every day for the first couple of weeks or even a month, we can assist you with getting you some gas cards or venture cards so you can get to work on time, which I think in Tara's case, it's very important. Also, if you need a uniform when you get a new job, that's something that we can help you get as well. Next slide, please. And here's just our role. Really, it's about community outreach and engagement, coordinating system-wide recruitment events, and assisting job seekers connect to training and apprenticeship opportunities. And we do this in collaboration with the partnership staff, where we focus on outreach, this is one of the outreach sessions that we're doing to get people educated about all these services that we provide and how to get enrolled. And not only that we enroll in Construction Works program, but we also enroll in many job seekers in many other programs that we have. And one of them is a WIOA program, Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, where job seekers can be dual enrolled and receive a lot of different services that are offered by our staff. And of course, we connect our job seekers with local trades and training providers, including WIOA certified training providers, as well as non-WIOA training providers offering industry recognized credentials in the construction trades. Next slide, please. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Brittany that will elaborate more on the required eligibility documents and how to get the process started.
Thank you, Anissa. Hi, everyone. As Anissa mentioned, my name is Brittany. I work at the Northside American Job Center. And as both Natasha and Anissa mentioned, we're one of the partners that we can connect you with the Construction Works project with Illinois Tollway. We also, at the Northside American Job Center, do offer other workforce programs that we can facilitate with you as well, as Anissa mentioned, if you have interest in additional services. When working with our center, there is going to be, I believe it was also mentioned in Natasha's slide, an eligibility component to enrolling into the programs and services here. And part of the eligibility step is to show some proof of documentation. Here you see a list of this, and this is something that our staff will go over with you again when you connect with us. We wanted to give you guys a heads up of what might be required for the future eligibility steps so that you kind of have an idea already, but things like a driver's license, social security card, and then some form of proof that you're authorized to work in the US. So many options for that, such as birth certificate, passport, green card, things of that nature. For gentlemen, there will be a proof of selective service registration. It's a simple thing that we can assist with in checking on that with you as well. And then we will look at either proof of any kind of recent income you may have received, or if you are currently receiving unemployment benefits, or maybe you were recently receiving, but they ended. Either way, we could look at proof of one of those as well. So again, the eligibility component is part of enrolling into the programs and services with us, the Northside American Job Center, and the different projects and programs that we offer. And these will be discussed with you, because if you are looking to work with our center, as you'll hear me explain on the next slide, part of what you'll do is engage in an orientation session with us, and we'll go through these documents again, kind of walk with you a little bit more closely through them. Next slide. All right, and so what are next steps? I know almost every presenter has mentioned this already, but definitely a big thing to keep in mind is to engage with this, right? And to follow up beyond today's session. And here is kind of what, for our perspective of connecting with our center specifically, and also the Construction Works project with Illinois Tollway in general. So my coworker Evelyn just put into the chat a link for the interest form. I believe Natasha mentioned this form as well. So that can always be a first step. When you fill out that online form, it's very simple, very quick, easy. You can select the different locations, as Natasha had on her slide, all of the different centers that do offer the Construction Works project. Our center specifically, Northside American Job Center at Truman College, is of course listed there. We'd love to work with you. So that is one of the first steps that you can do. Fill that form out so that either ourselves here at the Northside will get your information and follow up with you, or if you did select a different location, maybe one that's more close or convenient for you, they'll follow up with you to engage and work with you further beyond the interest form. Then if you are interested and you want to, immediately you want to connect with us, our center, what you can do is contact us directly. You can email myself. Also, our center phone number is on here as well, and we can follow up with you. We host our orientations, which is kind of an informational session. We talk, of course, about construction works in that orientation. We also talk about some of the other programs and services that we have to offer in the orientation as well. So it's kind of a big all-around informational session where you'll hear a lot more about what we do at the Northside American Job Center. That's always the place to start so that you have a good understanding of who we are, what we do, and then we'll move forward from there. So to get our upcoming orientation schedule, which they are held weekly, you can contact either, like I said, myself by emailing me, or call our center, and we're happy to provide those upcoming times and dates. We do also have a center Facebook page and LinkedIn page. So if you go to either facebook.com or linkedin.com, you can always search the Northside American Job Center at Truman College. And there you'll find each week we put in the times, the dates, the information for our orientation sessions, any other events or maybe specific information we're trying to highlight, we post there. So that's always a place. If you don't want to call each week and check in with us, you can just head over to one of those pages and find all of the information you need from there to join one of our orientation sessions. And I believe I'm going to throw it back to Anissa. We've got a few success stories to tell you about, and she'll take it from here. Thank you.
Thanks, Brittany. So as Brittany said, yes, we do have a couple of stories that we wanted to share with you. We selected these because one of the job seekers that joined our program was laid off due to pandemic, and we know that a lot of job seekers, a lot of people these days have been laid off due to the pandemic, and he joined our center. He completed orientation, intake, and got enrolled, also assigned to job coach, and was able to be placed on the job training opportunity with Advanced Contractor Solutions, Inc., and is making $18 an hour right now. And this job seeker had no prior experience in the field, but it's really now receiving a proper training that we work with closely with. And we that's why we wanted to include this story, because this is just one of the employers that we work with, but we work with hundreds of employers within a lot of different a lot of different industries, definitely including construction industry. And he is definitely learning all the skills and on the right track. So next slide, please. And this is another customer that joined our program, went through the same steps as Isaiah, and was enrolled and also placed onto the job training opportunity with the same employer. But this job seeker moved from another state, right? And regardless if you live in Cook County, and if you're or Chicago, regardless where you come from, you can still visit our center or any of these other centers that Brittany, Terry, and Natasha and I have talked about, and just start the process and be connected with job placement opportunities and training, of course. So we just wanted to share these and also let you know, as you can see from these success stories, not only that we've enrolled these job seekers, we've also placed them onto job on the OJT, on the job training opportunity with this employer, and also provided support services so they can remain employed. Next slide, please. And this is our contact information. So again, my name is Anissa Jakubovic. I'm the project director here at the Northside American Job Center. We have Brittany's information listed. Also, we have 2 other team members that are working closely with job seekers and employers. We have Lupe and Evelyn that you can contact via phone or email should you have any questions about that next step and what to do, how to start, and how long that the process takes. And again, if Northside AJC is not a center that's closest to you, you can definitely start the process at any of the other centers, but we would love to work with you. So you can definitely access our information, like Brittany said, on Facebook, LinkedIn page, or call us. So next slide, please. Thank you for listening to all of the things that we have shared, and hopefully you will contact us soon and complete that interest form that Brittany referred to, and Natasha. And I know we have some other presenters that want to share basically all the opportunities that I think I have seen some questions about, what opportunities are offered and how much did they pay, how to get started and everything. But before we have them say a few words about those steps, we do have Serve Central States that's going to also present today. And they're one of the partners that we work with closely and also part of the Illinois WorkNet system.
Cool. Hello, everyone. My name is Hector Lopez, and thank you, Anissa.
Sure.
So real quick, I just wanted to point out our location is at the bottom right corner there. So we're actually one of the partner agencies providing construction works powered by the Illinois Tollway. So just to sort of sum up what we're doing, because we're at the midpoint of this. So I do recommend taking some notes. We're here to help you find a career specifically in the construction industry with a big emphasis on the union trades. And some of those people are actually here today. So I do recommend taking notes with the following presenters. So for example, we have the pipe fitters, tile finishers, bricklayers, electricians, plumbers, elevator mechanics, CDL drivers, and carpenters. And what our job is as construction works agents, we are here to help you get the education that you need, the training material, providing you studying material, helping you get some of that interview prepping in, resume writing, helping you pay for those initial fees and dues and get into those apprenticeship programs. And we also help you with those equipment expenses. And what I'm able also to provide you is any transportation fees as far as gas cards and bus cards and referral needs. And those could be specifically to what you need. For example, that could be childcare, housing, or mental health and wellness needs. But as our agency here at Central States Air, we are in the Little Village area. We're located on 26 in Pulaski, and my name is Hector Lopez. So if you are in this area or if you know anybody that needs any help, please do send them our way. And at this time, I'll be passing it on to the bricklayers. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Stan Kolasing, and I'm representing our bricklayers and our craft workers. We are located in Edison, Illinois. Next slide, please. There's the back view of our training center. And next slide, please. Next one. So we provide training for bricklayers, tile setter, tile finisher, pointers, and caulkers, and cleaners, or sometimes we call them as a tuck pointers. So they do all the restoration work. Also, we provide training for terrazzo workers and plasterers. Next slide. So our apprenticeship, it's cost-free to our apprentices, doesn't cost you anything for any training. So that's mean when you finish your apprenticeship program, you don't have the student debts, okay? Majority it's hand-on training. There's a lot of people, they are very good with the hand skills. They maybe not as good at parts in classroom, but we also provide some classroom learning, and mainly we concentrating on basic math, and a big thing is our safety training. And next slide. As a career, I want you to think that this is your career, that this is not another some type of job. This is the career. That's how I started. I'm the third generation in bricklaying. My father was bricklayers, and I continued the tradition in my family. And this is career. When I started, I didn't look at all that would be just a typical another job. This is career. That's something that I was planning to do till I retire. As an apprentice, you're gonna start earning anywhere from $20 till upper 40s before you become a journey person. Depends on the trade you pick. As a journey worker, you're gonna start roughly around $46 an hour. Plus, when you become a foreman, you're gonna make around $40 plus. And the next step would be whether superintendent, project manager, or at some point, I encourage to many of you would become business owners. Next slide, please. As a union, we offer many different benefits. Many of them, it's just a health benefits like medical, dental, vision. With that, we also offer annuity program. And also we offer a pension plan. Not many places offer pension plans. That's something that fade out from other places. I think the only unions right now offer the pension plan. How you can become one of our apprentices? You have to stop in our training center to submit the application. The requirements are you got to be at 18 years of age. You need to have high school diploma, GED. It's recommended. You don't have to, but it's recommended. You need to have birth certificate or U.S. passport, Social Security. There's a $20 application fee. Valid driver license, because you will travel from job to job, and you need to have some types of driver license to allow you to move around. You have to be physically fit to do the one of our programs, whether it will be bricklaying, tuck pointing, tile setting. So you have to be physically fit to lift some of the heavier stuff. You have to be able to work in different weather conditions, especially if you're planning to become a bricklayer or tuck pointers. We're gonna work when it's negative temperature to when it's really hot. You have to be able to work with others. And one of the biggest issue, you have to be able to pass a drug screening, including the cannabis. Even though it's legal in Illinois, it's still required a job site to pass cannabis drug screening. So you have to be 100% drug free. Next slide, please. So what are the masonry trades? Are the mason trades right for you? Sometimes you might find yourself that look at the wall, you see there's maybe a crooked picture on the wall. You're gonna go and straighten them up. You probably prefer work with your hands. It doesn't matter whether you're planning to do a bricklaying or any other trades that we offer. That might be for you. But again, I want you to pick the trade that you're willing to treat as your career. As a bricklayer or tuck pointer, you might be working on historical buildings, and I've done that. I work on many historic buildings in Chicago. As a bricklayer, I work for new construction, and another half of my career was working in restoration field, and I work on really nice old buildings, and that's really fantastic to do that. Okay. Will your career will be easy? No, it won't be easy. There's a lot of things that we have to go through it. There will be a lot of bumps, but we're here to help you. Okay, we mentor you. We'll help you to be a successful only also on financial side of it. So that's not only we give you hands-on training, but we help you to make the proper step to be successful in your life. Next slide. Here's a couple simple steps you can take to apply for it. You can get more info by checking our website, www.bac2school.org. If you have any question, info, or you would like to get more info, what trades you offer, what's the application process, you can always email us to info@bac2school.org. You can always call our office at 630-953-0835. Next slide, please. So one more time, here's your opportunity. Don't miss out. Feel free to contact us and we'll guide you through it. We'll help you out to get you into next step in your life to offer you a good career that you can at some point retire and be happy what you achieve throughout your life. All right, that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that presentation, Stan. And I do believe we will have TJ with IBEW Local 701 up next. So TJ, are you available to present, sir?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
I can. You can begin whenever you're ready.
Okay. All right. So we are IBEW Local 701, as you're seeing on the screen right now. Our apprenticeship is the DuPage County JATC. We're going to get into what that stands for in just a second. But we do have two separate entities that came together to form our school. And I want everybody to understand the opportunities that you're given. And before we start the slide, I think the important thing to talk about when everybody's looking at these careers, you're now an adult. I think that's the biggest issue we run into is people have gone through your school career, you've had your high school counselor, your parents navigating you, helping you out, telling you the direction that you're going to go. It's now your turn. You're in control of what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. So when we talk about these programs, it's extremely important that you understand. We're talking to you as an adult. This is now your responsibility. Do not come to these different trade opportunities with your mom and dad until I'm not here to talk to them. I'm here to hire an adult to do an adult job and get paid an adult wage. So that's the conversation we're going to have going forward. I think that's extremely important to get out of the way when we first start. This is, as was mentioned, career opportunities, and I want to just get into how we help you along those pathways to get to that step of making sure that you feel comfortable and this is the right choice for you. Next slide, please. All right, so I'm going to throw an alphabet soup at you real quick. In the building trades, we do a really good job of advertising to ourselves. We become very familiar with these acronyms. If anybody has military service, you're kind of used to living in this world as well. Because building trades are regimented like military service. When you start getting into this, you're going to see that there's a process. We're not reinventing the wheel for anybody. This is the process. You will fall in line and you will go through it the same as everybody else. Having said that, everybody receives the same pay, the same benefits, and everything else. So this is how everything stays on that very typical platform. So the DuPage County JATC offers, it's an inside and a data technician electrical apprenticeship. The entities that come together to help us start with this educational process. So first you have two entities that came together, which are the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, which is the union group for electricians. We're international. We are here in the United States. We are in Canada. We also do some training overseas as well. We also have the National Electrical Contractors Association. So for instance, here in DuPage County, we have over 500 signatory contractors. Those are people who have signed a contract with IBEW that says, look, I'm a contractor. I'm coming to you for the labor, for the help to get these jobs completed. And doing that, we want a specific workforce. We want a trained and qualified workforce. We want a safe workforce. So this is where we come in. Now you have the Electrical Training Alliance. That is our parent group for the school. The school is under the guise of the IBEW and NECA. They come together and they oversee our school and our training. That on a local level becomes the Joint Apprenticeship Training Committee. That's a JATC. So in the Illinois, Chicagoland area, we're very dense with unions. We have a lot of different locals. Here, it's almost by county for electrical programs. You're going to hear another electrical program speak right after me. They do outside utility work. So think of the separation of us and when Kevin comes on as we're everything that's inside of private property. So where the buildings are going, the power that's going to be distributed and all of the systems inside of those buildings. The local 9, the utility workers, they're going to be the people that do all of the, when you're driving down the road, you see the power lines and the distribution. They're the ones that bring the power to the specific private properties. Next slide, please. So here's 2 different program options. If you go to our website, I will put that on our in the comments. I've already put our contact information in there, how you can get a hold of us. I'll also put our website address, and it's on the next slide coming up. But just to kind of talk us through, the commercial electrical program is a 5-year program. You will perform 180 hours of school every year, and you will also have to put in 1,650 hours in the field. We will provide you with that classroom training and the field training. We will put you with a contractor. You do not have to find a job. That's all part of the process. This is going to be power distribution through a building, motor control, lighting, anything along the terms of when you're walking through a building and things are energized, this is going to be that part of the program. The data technician program is a 4-year program. Again, 180 hours of school a year. This one obviously going to be reduced on the hours. It's down to 5,400 hours because you're down to a 4-year program. Again, we find you the job, we put you with the contractors, we monitor all of your training to make sure that you're receiving the training you're supposed to get. But those are the 2 programs that we offer right now. Next slide, please. So here is our slides for our contact information. Our website there got a little messed up, but it's DuPage JATC at IBEW701.org. So you can reach us through that. You can also go to IBEW701.org and you'll see an apprenticeship tab. You can select that. You can go to Power Forward DuPage. We're also associated with them. So lots of ways to get into contact with us and get a hold of us. So I've gone through a lot of different organizations. You have IBEW, NECA, the JATC, the ETA. And I think this is important because what I want everybody to understand is as much as you're an adult and you're coming in and you're applying and you're trying to go through this process and it's overwhelming and it's new to a lot of us. I always grew up with the saying that it takes a village to raise a child. And so you've had that. You've had your school systems and your parents and your loved ones around you and everybody to take you through that process. That doesn't end. Yes, you are an adult, but we're still a village and that's in place for you. You have all of these people in your corner that are pushing you through this process, that are guiding you and helping you and giving you resources. Look at the resources that you've seen just today, people that are helping you with transportation needs, people helping you with childcare needs, people helping you with interview skill sets, making sure that you can fill out a resume. All of these things are still in place, but it's up to you. It's your responsibility to take advantage of those. We can only do so much. These are the programs that we're offering. We are making it beyond easy for you to do. Just get into it, find the courage, step into it, and you don't know unless you try. But these are great careers, and these are the opportunities that are available for you. Next slide, please. All right, so if you go to that website, dupagejatc.org, you will see on the webpage, on the opening screens, you can scroll down. It will tell you testimonials. It will tell you about the different program descriptions that we have. You can also find this, that the drop-down tab right here. If you select this application info, that will tell you how to apply for our program. Next slide, please. So once you get there, it's going to take you to the screen. If you scroll down, you'll find this blue tab that says download application requirements. What you have to understand is you have to come here and apply in person. Our application is a live application. So you will come here, you'll come to our counter. What you're going to find here is all of the information you need to come to us with. So if you click on this tab, you will see our application hours are from 8 till noon and 1 till 4. The materials that you're going to have to bring are pretty simplistic. You're looking at a driver's license. Bring a copy of that. If not, we can copy it here. But if you show up with a copy, it just makes things go faster. A copy of your birth certificate. You'll also need official high school transcripts, and that's important. You can't have opened or unsealed or photocopied transcripts. They have to be official from your school. It's easiest if you just have them sent to us. A lot of schools are now using email, which is fine, absolutely fine, but they have to come directly to us. They cannot go to your email address first. They have to be sent directly to us. And then you have to make sure it's your responsibility to make sure you have at least 1 year of a C average in high school algebra. Electricians are very math centric. A lot of building trades are, but especially in our curriculum, I told you it's 180 hours of school. If you guys are enrolled in college, you know a full-time student's going between 120, 140 hours. You're going to be going 180 hours. It is a very rigorous program. Electricians, there's a lot expected of you, both mentally and physically. So it is a rigorous program, very doable program, but it is very rigorous. So you have to make sure you have that C average in high school algebra. If you do not have that C average, don't panic, because we offer an online math course that you can take. Again, I'm sure through some of these different entities that have already presented, you can also find financial help for that. It's $125, but it's a self-paced, you go through, it's an online math course. The nice thing about this math course is that it is designed by the company that also designs the aptitude test you're going to take to get into our program. So even if you've had the math, just to refresh and make sure that you have the correct skill sets, it's a good course. We recommend people take that. I'm also on workNet DuPage. I'm a board member there. We also do WEO grants. So come in, talk to us, and we will set you up in DuPage County as well with finding resources to help you out if you need those. Next slide, please. So here again is the list of the requirements here. So you need to submit a copy of a state, a photo ID, a copy of your birth certificate, the official high school transcripts, the C average. So if you want any letters of recommendation submitted, you can submit those as well from your current employers, teachers, anybody that you want. If you know somebody in the building trades, great. They can all write up a letter. They can send that in. You know, if you have any accolades or anything that you want to submit, college transcripts, you could submit those as well. So anything that you have that you think will make you stand out from the other applicants, I suggest you also bringing that with you, a copy of it, and we'll put that on your file. If you want to put your resume in there, put your resume in there, anything that you have. Next slide, please. So our application process. Again, our application process is you're an adult, it's your responsibility. I'm not going to call you and check in on you. If you've submitted everything and you want to make sure, you call me and you verify that you have everything turned in. It's your responsibility. So you're going to come in, you're going to apply, and you're going to make sure you meet the deadlines. The deadlines are all in the paperwork. You'll find them on, again, if you go to the webpage. I also have a paper copy here. I will hand you across the counter. But our application process, we're open every Tuesday all year round. You have until the end of September to apply. So if you're looking at your calendar, we just closed our application process for this upcoming year, and we started for the next 2023 season. So in this 2022 season, I had around 500 applicants that came in and applied. We're getting ready to do our aptitude test, which is the next bullet on this slide here. So this aptitude test is going to take place in November. It's typically the week before Thanksgiving. We will mail you a letter with the test date and time. Our aptitude test is 2 parts. It is a math portion, which will take 46 minutes. Yes, it is timed. And that will test you in algebra and 3-dimensional functions. And then the second part of the test is 51 minutes, and it's a reading comprehension. This measures your ability to obtain information from a written passage. And then our testing is stay 9 scored. So it's between 1 and 9. So the way that this works is you are competing against everybody else who is taking that test at that time. So there is no 100% on this test. You're scored against everybody else. So they take the top 18% and the bottom 18%, and your scores 1 and 9. Off of that, they'll take 23.3% of the next group, the higher and the lower scores, and they are going to be 2 and 8. So for our scores, you have to score 4 or higher to move on to interviews. So if you're in with a really smart group, you may score a little bit lower. If you're in with groups that are struggling a little bit, you may score higher. We've had people that have applied 2 years in a row. They passed the aptitude test the first time and failed the second time. Most likely this is part of what happened or contributed to that. After you go through the aptitude test, moving forward to the end of January and then all of February, we do interviews. You will interview in front of the board that's going to hire you. That's made up of the IBEW and NECA, the National Electrical Contractors Association that we spoke about. This puts a personal touch on it. You get to sit in front of everybody and convince them that you're the person that they want to invest in. These are the people that are hiring you. These are the people representing you. These are the people that you're going to be working with and under. These are also your instructors. So it's really important that you come in and that you make a good impression. So dress as if you want to impress. Do not show up in basketball shorts and a tank top. You can. I can just tell you the people that have, I've never seen them in my school as a student. So it's important to represent yourself. You're trying to impress somebody and convince them that you're worth their investment. So our interview is through our JATC committee tasked with interviewing all applicants who have successfully applied and received a passing score on their aptitude test. Next slide, please. All right, so to learn about what you're applying for, on that same page where you saw the downloading application requirements, you can click on information to find out a little bit more about the IBEW. We are very vet friendly, so please click on the information and we assist you here on obtaining your GI Bill. You can use that as you're going through our school. The wage rates tab here, it will explain all of your benefits and your wages. And this is our classroom commitment that I was telling you about. So for a 5-year inside program, it's 8,000 hours of on-the-job training and 900 classroom hours. And then if you choose the data technician, that's going to be 720 classroom hours total and 6,400 on-the-job training hours. Next slide, please. So when you click that tab, these are the 2 PDF documents you're going to find, and those are adjusted as we renegotiate our contracts. The contracts are negotiated between those 2 entities, IBEW and NECA. These are our current wage rate and benefit packages. It's also your explanation of how you will proceed through this program. So one thing I can guarantee you is when you come in, if you select the data program or the inside program, I can tell you exactly how much and when you're going to make over the next 4 or 5 years of your life while you're going through this program. So at the top, you have your hourly wage rate. So you first come in, you're at 45%. This is going to read from right to left. If you look at the tables in the center there, it says apprentice wage rates. So you're going to see first year, you're at 45 and then 50%. And then second year, you're at 60. And this is on the inside wage rate. And then the apprentice one, you'll see you move up by 5% increments on that one, and explains between the hours of when you will get your pay raises. You also see there's a vacation fund. That's basically a forced savings account. So in the trades, if you don't work, you don't get paid. It's as simple as that. You're still an hourly employee. Well, what the contractors do through our agreement and our local, for every hour you work, they're going to put this percentage towards a vacation fund, which is a forced savings account through Amalgamated Bank, which is also in our building. So you'll have that money there. So if you're not working, if you want to take a vacation, if you're trying to buy a new house and you want to make sure that you have enough money to cover PMI, there's a forced savings account. There's money sitting there waiting for those. And you're not taking that money out of your weekly wage that you're bringing home. So going down, you're going to see that you have health. The health is a full family health and welfare. You're going to have pensions and annuities and all these other funds that I'll explain in the next slide, please. So coming through the benefits of being part of our program, you're a positive member. You're a contributor to your community and society. You're going to make a livable wage, which means you're going to be paying taxes, state taxes, federal taxes, which means you're a positive member of society. You're not taking from society, you are actually contributing. You're helping those that are less fortunate. You're helping out the next generation coming up. You're going to have full private PPO family health care, including dental and vision. We also have a clinic that we just installed in our building here on the second floor. You can come in, get glasses that are American and union made. They will cut them, and it takes about an hour. So you get a full vision and glasses and everything within an hour. We have a health clinic up there. We have all those things going here in our building, and there's several other unions that are doing the same thing. So available to make sure that you have full health care and you can take advantage of it. You have 4 retirement programs with us. They're all private. There's no government subsidies. So for every hour you work, a contractor is going to be contributing for those retirement programs. You have 1 annuity, and you have 1 local pension and 2 international pensions that you're going to be contributing to. So you're going to be set up when you're going into your retirement years as well. And for us, retirement as early as 55. So really nice outlook for your future on that as well. The school, tuition free. You're not paying any upfront costs. There is a school fee that you will pay, and then a technology fee. What is that for? The school fee is skin in the game, really, because you're going to come in and we're going to be investing heavily in you to start off with. You're coming in with zero knowledge in the trade, and a contractor is going to be paying for my inside program. They're going to be paying almost $40 an hour for you, having zero skill set. So we're investing in you heavily. So there's a $450 fee, and that's for the school fees. And then there's a $375 technology fee. You are issued a laptop. We are a blended learning platform. Your laptop is multifaceted as you go through the program. There's a CBA, so it's a collective bargaining agreement between your contractor and your labor union, and it represents the members and the contractors. So everything that you need to know has already been agreed upon. It's written in stone, and you just have to go to work and work. Everything else is settled upon, and you saw that in the wage sheets on the page before. Earn while you learn. So you're going to be working while you go to school. So you're not going to be sitting at home making no money while you're going to school. We're going to make sure that you're getting both skill sets, the school and the hands-on training at the same time, and you're going to make a very decent wage while you're going through that. Next slide, please. Questions I often get here at the counter when I talk to people when we're doing our testing and everything else is what makes a successful apprentice? Reliable. You need to be reliable. You have to be at the job on time every day. When a contractor, and you've already been talked to about the progression of where you could become. So you could become this contractor. But when you bid a job, you bid that. You have a client. If I want to build something, there's a specific amount of time that I'm willing to wait for that structure to be put in place. I need it. I need my doors open. I need customers in there buying the products I'm selling so I can make money so I can pay you. So everything's on a time frame. Be on time. You have to be there. If I'm trying to run a job and 3 people don't show up and I had them laid out on task, and so you have to remember electricians are working with the bricklayers, they're working with the plumbers, they're working with the pipe fitters. And if I'm falling behind, I'm holding them up too. They're not going to wait on me. They're going to bury me, which means now my work just became exponentially harder and it's going to take longer. So reliability is key. You have to be able to listen carefully and fully to instructions. You have to be attentive at all times because the job site is moving all around you. You have equipment buzzing by, you have alarms, you have horns, you have high vis, you have stuff being swung all over the place. You have people carrying stuff. The job site moves, it moves, it moves, it moves. So you have to be able to listen carefully and fully within this environment. And it's important to make sure that you listen to those instructions, because if you're there and you're not present, you're still not doing me any good. So back to that being reliable. Grit, determination, hard work, respectful, and organized. Notice none of the above have anything to do with mechanical skill sets. We're talking about soft skill sets. You don't have to be good with wrenches or be able to turn a screwdriver or use a drill. We will teach you all of those things. You have to be a good human being when you come into these jobs. You have to be able to pay attention. You have to at least pretend that you want to be there. You should want to be there. This is your career. But everybody around you needs to feel like you want to be there, right? You need to be respectful of others. You have people that are already journeyman technicians, they're journey wire persons that are out there. They're teaching you, which means they've already learned all of this, and they're taking the time to teach you their skill set. Look at what that means. You're cheaper than them. You're an apprentice. You're younger than them, probably going to be a little bit faster. And they're giving you all of their knowledge without asking for anything in return other than show up and be on time. So this person is not fearful that you're going to replace them. They understand the system and how it works. They're teaching you so you can continue this on to teach the next generation so that this continues. Again, you have that village, you have that family helping you as you go through this. You have to be 18 years of age to apply. You're an adult. These are the skill sets that you should have been taught. You will need to show mastery of these to be successful in the organized building trades. That's any trade. Next slide, please. What causes failures in the program? Poor time management is the biggest one. Again, not showing up to work, not showing up to school, often late, needing to leave early because of whatever reasons. It's 8 for 8. They need you there for a minimum of 8 hours. You're getting paid for those 8 hours. Be there, be present. You just have to shut everything off when you're on a job site, and your focus is the job. You have to be able to stay very, very focused on what you're supposed to get done during the day. As soon as you're done, you can turn everything else back on. But when you're there, you have to be focused. People that are unorganized and can't keep a schedule, you're responsible to make sure that you are on school the days you have school and you're at work the days you have work. It's your responsibility to know what time the job starts. It's your responsibility to know when your homework assignments are due. It's your responsibility to manage yourself. Again, we don't do that. This is where the adult part comes in. So make sure that you can stay organized. Helicopter parents and the apprentices' inability to navigate their own life. You know, if your parent has been the one and blessed them because they got you this far, but now you have to take what they've done for you. You have to mirror all of those skill sets that they were trying to teach you. You have to take those on for yourself. I've had parents email me, can you send me all of my kids' homework assignments? No, because your kid isn't here anymore. There's an adult in that person's place. I will not send this homework assignment to you. This is your responsibility. You don't prioritize education or career. Your hobbies become your main priority. And this falls into the next one, which is more money equals more time off. No call, no show, frequent 3-day weekend. First year and third year are our biggest issues that we have. So first year, getting into a construction lifestyle, understanding how it operates, being up at 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes to make sure that you're on the job, tools in hand at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's hard. It's a lot to come into face to face with. You're sore, you're working outside, you're moving material, you're doing things that your body hasn't been asked to do before, and you're doing it now every day. So first year is a hurdle. The rigorous school schedule, the rigorous work schedule, it's a big awakening into your adult life. Third year, you start making a really good wage. And so now you see money and you're like, hey, kind of like a 3-day weekend, I kind of like this. And you can't do it. When a job is going, you have to be there and you have to be accountable. If you're wanting to take time off, you absolutely can, but communication is key. You have to talk to your foreman, you have to talk to your company and find when is a good time for me to take off that is not disruptive, and make sure that you're not missing school because you can't miss school. So again, being organized and being able to communicate all of these soft skill sets that you need to come into the program with. People that are sensitive or easily angered, they're over emotional or combative. On a job site, again, everything's moving and everything is fast. Pleases and thank yous are generally not asked or said. There's no time. I'm not going to ask you please. You're there. I'm paying you a very good wage. If I'm asking you to do something, my thank you is a paycheck every week. That's your thank you. You see that? You're like, hey, I did everything right. I did what I was supposed to. They gave me one of these. So that's your thank you. That's what you look for. And the school education is more difficult than expected. Again, in electrical programs, look at how sophisticated these systems are becoming. Look what we're asking for from smart homes and now charging your vehicle, and possibly the new Rivians and Teslas are now going to be backfeeding your house. So separate power supplies. You just had a $30 million grant for solar that's going to be going on more and more houses. So again, alternate power supplies. Our grid system is becoming more and more sophisticated. Our programs are becoming more and more sophisticated. Our school is becoming more and more sophisticated. So you have to stay up. Technology changes quick. It's a lot, and it's a continuous education. It doesn't end in 5 years or 4 years with your program choice. All of our journey people, again, school is free to them. They come back and take upgrade courses and they continue education. Your contractor may have a proprietary relationship with a certain vendor. You're taking their programming courses to understand how that works. So a lot of education. Next slide, please. Things I wish I knew. Jobs start really early. 6 a.m. is the often the start time here. So depending on how far away you live, I do not have a jurisdictional clause. You don't have to live in DuPage County to work here. So depending on how far out, you're still responsible for being at the job, tools in hand at 6 in the morning. So job sites are not glamorous. They're construction sites. So if you've never been on a construction site, they're big, they're loud, they're noisy, they're dirty. That's a construction site. Construction work is both physically and mentally challenging. A lot of people think electrician, I'm just going to put in a light switch, or I'm just going to twist wires together, or they have these ideas, I'm going to be soldering circuit boards. There's so much the electrical industry, I couldn't get into all of it now, but you're working, for me, everything from being in mud trenches 25 feet below the ground, putting conduit in for the infrastructure of a building, to working up on the top of towers, putting in cell towers, working on top of buildings, working with the mechanical equipment up there, the air handlers. In the summertime, that's when the air conditioning units go down. You're working on them on the hottest days. In the wintertime, that's when the heating units go down. They're being challenged the most. It's the coldest days. The wind is blowing sideways and you're up on top of a roof with no protection, trying to fix that equipment to get that building back online. So it's very physically challenging, and often the physical leading to the mental exhaustion, because you're in these environments and you have to think how complex these systems are and fix them. So time is money. You got to get it going. So it's a lot. Porta johns are typically the only restroom facilities on a job, winter through summer. They each come with their own experiences. Everything is fast paced. You're expected to keep up and smile while doing it. Pleases and thank yous are luxuries on job sites, and construction is a lifestyle. You're going to see in the summer months, it's busy. There's more work than we can possibly ever man. And in the wintertime, with weather and holidays and everything else, it slows down a little bit. And so you have to get into that ebb and flow of construction, and it is a total lifestyle. So those are the things that I wish I knew. I don't want this to come off as negative, because it's not. It's a reality check. Again, if you're looking for a career where you can retire at 55 with 4 retirement programs, full health care for your entire family, you have a forced savings account already. You have an HRA, which means that when you go to pay for a prescription, it's not coming out of your weekly paycheck. There's a fund set aside that is tax-free. So it's a dollar for dollar you're getting out of that. Everything is set up for you. You literally just have to go to work and learn, go to school and learn, go to work and learn. It's a great trade. It's a great system. It's a great future. I'm glad I'm in it. I'm 4th generation, and I had enough people in front of me to guide me in this direction, and I've loved every minute of it. It's awesome opportunity. You get to meet a lot of people and you see a lot of different things. I think that's the last slide. Yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you for your time. I will put our website in the comments as well, and then if you have any questions, I'll be here at the end. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that presentation, TJ. And again, if you do have any questions for TJ or any of the presenters that we've had here today, do not hesitate to throw your questions into the chat. Once we get through our last presentation here, we'll go ahead and pivot to the Q&A portion of the event, where we'll obviously have an opportunity to get those questions answered for you. Our next and final presenter for today will be Kevin with IBEW Local 9. Kevin, are you available to present?
I am.
Excellent.
I'd like to thank TJ. I'd like to thank TJ for going through all that. It makes my slide a whole lot easier, you know? So fantastic, TJ. Nice work. Nicely done. Everything that TJ was talking about, guys, is about showing up on time and helicopter parents. Took the words of it. It's unbelievable. I gotta get that slide from you, TJ, because we're gonna use that, because it's something else. But yes, local number 9. It's one of the oldest locals in the country. That's why we're a single-digit local. 701's our sister local, just to the west of us. And like he said, they do electrical, all the inside the buildings. We're everything on public right away. So the tollway, doing the street lighting, traffic signals, and overhead distribution, the ComEd stuff. Everything's outside, guys. And one thing you got to take out of this is we're really here to help. Over the years, you know, people never had a shot to get it into a union, because it was always a friend of a friend or a family member to a family member. And I think unions actually made a mistake on that, because it was not an opportunity for everything else. I mean, there's so much money that we had out there, guys. And you know, I'm not saying anything bad about college, but this is definitely, you know, I teach the unionism class at the training facility with the new candidates come in here, half the people have a college degree. If you guys don't have a college degree or whatever it is, it's okay. This is another opportunity, because the worst thing is when you go to college and you spend all that time and energy and resources going to school for your major, then you're spending money that you don't have, you're borrowing money that you can't run from. And give the trades a shot. It don't hurt nothing. This is not a job, exactly what Stan was saying, and TJ. These are careers. These are not just jobs like you're working at McDonald's or something along those lines. You can make down to apprentice to owners of a corporation to a company and go from there. But so next slide, please. So like I said, we're one of the oldest locals in the country. We're established in 1892. I think we're roughly about, the slide's a little 2,700. I think we're just under 3,000. We put out a lot of people out to work in the last few months for different various projects, CTA, RPM projects, and so forth, to the Tollway. To Tollway, to the city of Chicago, working with the city of Chicago with their smart lighting. What is smart lighting? They actually have is, next slide, please. So smart lighting over here, these are different pictures of different tasks, of different jobs that we have. So we're pretty diverse on everything, but let's go back to the smart lighting thing. I mean, there's a lot of gunshots going on in the city of Chicago. We have a shot spotter that goes on. So if there's a gunshot at an intersection and somebody got shot at the corner, the street lights will automatically dim where the shot was closer to the intersection. It brightens up for CPD to do what they need to do to apprehend that individual. So these are different technologies we even think about, so you got this, the person doing in that slide over there doing a LED change out for a traffic signal head, changing it to LED. So, energy efficient, just everything's energy efficient, guys. And that's why everything that we've got going on, like that transformer that's over there that they're hanging up out of that bucket, that big old garbage can that they're hanging up over there. I mean, a lot of this stuff, you got to have it. That stuff, but a lot of this stuff is going to solar panels, green energy. You hear it every other day. Pay attention to anything. It's all about green everything. So that means you got to redo the whole electrical grid. And there's so much money to be had. I mean, when I got in the trade when I was in 97, it's not like an old man, but it's, quite some time ago. And it's amazing how much this local has evolved over my short time on being there. Street lighting, traffic signal, overhead distribution. That is, the ComEd stuff, fiber optic cables, so communications between everything that runs on fiber. Everybody's married to their cell phone. You have that all tied goes to the backbone of fiber optic cables. If cell phones go away, obviously, I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't see that going away anytime in the future. Plus, we have small cell technology. I know 701 does small cell technology also inside the buildings. They get into that technology. So there's different facets of different work. These are mini cell towers that they put on light poles that so you guys can put your Snapchat when you're dinner that you're sitting outside and hashtag awesome and you're Facebooking and everything else. That's all running off of small cell technology with fiber optic. Next slide, please. So that's a big old transmission tower that we have over there. So, we got guys that do that type of work. That's another apprenticeship. If you want to get an overhead distribution, that is through AllBat. You have to apply for AllBat. We have our own in-house certified by the Department of Labor, our own apprenticeship program, because we're well diverse. Like we talked about all different facets of the work. If you want to be strictly an overhead distribution lineman, you go through all that. If you want to be street lighting, traffic signal, CTA, see that slide over there with the guys going on the CTA, they do that. We also have tree trimmers. You want to be a tree trimmer. Those are those guys in the center over there. Down to a roadway lighting that you see those guys with the Sears Tower or the Big Willie in the back, wherever you guys want to call it. So I'm an old school guy. I still call it the Sears Tower, but they're doing a roadway lighting project. So there's different facets of the work, the OEMC, all right, Office of Emergency Communication, 911 dispatcher. You'd be a 911 dispatcher out of local number 92. So maybe you don't want to be, out in the streets working. You could work out good on the phone. You get good under pressure, and you get a job with the OEMC. The water reclamation, the pumping stations that go out for the pumping City Chicago water out to from Lake Michigan to the different suburbs. We work with that, you know, and then you get environmental cleanup that we have. We have environmental cleanup. So if there's a little oil spill, things like this, we have another company called PSC that does all that stuff. Okay, next slide, please. So our jurisdiction is Cook County, Kankakee, Will County, and Grundy County. That's our footprint. That's our pretty much our property of what we do on the outside jurisdiction. So we work hand in hand with other sister locals like 701 to get our goal is, guys, is to put people out to work. And we are organized labor. We're not disorganized labor. We are organized labor. And that's we'll work with each other hand in hand, getting the job done, building America one day at a time. That's what we're doing. Absolutely. So you see those guys out there, are you afraid of heights? You know, maybe this is not for you. Needless to say, you might have, if you have a, you know, fear of heights, maybe you're not going to go on that transmission tower, but you're definitely probably going to go in a bucket truck over your career to work on a street light head, traffic signal, something along those lines. So if you have any height, if you're fear of heights, you might want to go with the 701 team over there, or 134 or 176. You can look up these other locals about that. Okay. Next slide, please. So what you need to have, what you have to have here is when you apply, you got to have is we're changing their stuff. You have to have a Class A CDL driver's license. We used to have a permit, but you got to have a CDL driver's license with the DOT member card. After you have that, then you get your resume and then your high school diploma and or GED with your high school transcripts. So as soon as our apprenticeship opens up, we're looking, guys, is to open our apprenticeship up, and probably it's looking like the second or third week in January of the new year. Just to put it in perspective, we had over 200 so many people applied, like 30, 40 failed. And I am sitting right now on a stack of about 10 to 15 people. That's it. We moved all those people. They're all out working. They're all making money. They're all doing their career. They're starting it all out. So this is not like this is lip service from any one of these guys that got up there, Stan or TJ. We really need skilled labor. And we're here to train you. You're going to be debt free. You're going to make a bunch of money with your career, and that's going to put you advantage of somebody that's, say, going to college that's coming out with a pile of debt. Next slide, please. So yeah, you're going to get it after you hand your application in. You have to pass with your written aptitude test with a 70% above. And after you pass that, then they'll call you up and say, congratulations, so-and-so, you passed with your written agility, your aptitude test. Now you'll be going to the agility test. Are you physically fit to do the job? You know, we got guys that can read and write very well, and that's good, but this is a physical job. You gotta be able to be physically fit to work on the job. You gotta be active, you gotta be able to bend over, you gotta be able to, you know, carry pipe, you gotta be able to maybe run a jackhammer. You know, Local 9 runs a little bit of everything. We run all of our equipment. We run, as long as it's electrical related, we run our equipment. We run all the tools. It's a one-stop shop here with Local 9 with when we're working on the outside. Okay. And then after you get done with it, you pass your physical exam and you're good. Then you go on to the apprenticeship list, waiting for John Burkhart, myself, my other assistant business manager over here, is to dispatch. As contractors call and say, I need a new guy. And it's as quick as, hey, I need a new guy and I need him tomorrow. I need him Wednesday. So when you get your name on that apprenticeship list and you have your CDL driver's license, I would recommend you tell your employer, whoever you're working for, if you are, that you are waiting on a call. Because sometimes they say, can I put a 2-week notice in? You don't have time. Unfortunately, you got to go. I need to place this call. If you can't do it, you're moving along to I'm moving to the next person, because our job is to move people and make sure they're on the job sites at the right time and going through there. Next slide, please. So our apprenticeship is it's pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie about it. I love it. I think it's fantastic. We're 100-acre campus out in University Park, and you get 8-step program. So certified by the Department of Labor. You got classroom, probationary period. You got to get your safety classes. We have our standards of apprenticeship to maintain everything. So I mean, you know, those guys over in that slide over here, they're aerial shot. They're doing a temporary traffic signal. You see those wood poles on the side of the road, and there's 4 of them. They're stringing those temporary traffic signals. Maybe they're They're doing some road work underneath. They are widening the road. Let's keep it real. A lot of people are, the population's expanding, and people are having kids every single day, and more people are on the roads, and that's why the roads are expanding, so they help the traffic flow out. Okay. You know, the probation period is hours in 1 year. The thing about it is, you know, the probation period is pretty much your whole apprenticeship. If you don't show up on the job on time, if you show up half-ass and you don't want to be there, or things like this, or you blow off school, I don't want to go to school, it can kick you out. And when you get kicked out of the school, you're not available for work on the streets. And that's just where it's at. Next slide, please. So, you know, going back with TJ, we're very similar in a lot of our things we have is, you know, we got the health insurance, we got the health reimbursement agreement. We got our 4 retirement plans. We have all that. Their retirement's younger than ours. Ours is 60, theirs is 55. But I mean, they're all very similar programs that we have. You know, it's apples to apples, apples and oranges, whatever you want to say, but they're all right there. And it's amazing. Next slide, please. So here you are. This is just the beginning, right? So if you add this up, you add this up over here. So the very first year that you're going to start hiring, coming right off the street, not knowing anything, you know, if you take you get 2262, you're receiving on the check, and then your additional, you're getting 14, 13 behind the scenes money is what you're getting. Costing the contractor $36.75 an hour. If you times that, guys, if you take that number, $36.75, because if you weren't part of any organized labor, you'd have to pay for your health insurance out of your pocket. You would have to pay for your retirement out of your 401k or 3% match if you're on the Wild West, right? That's where you're going to, you're not part of anything like that. So you're on your own. You know, if you add that all up, $36.75 times 2,080 hours, it's 2,080 hours in working 40 hours a week, 52 weeks a year. You add those things up, that brings you up to a total of $76,440 bucks, not knowing anything. Okay. So if you fast forward the thing to the last year, and you'd be a full journeyman lineman. Journeyman lineman's at $56.55 an hour with $35.32 an hour in benefits, brings you to $91.87 an hour. And like you talk to your college friends, whoever you're talking to, if they're making $91.87 an hour, I beg that if they're not a doctor or something along those lines, they ain't making that money. I can almost guarantee with death and taxes, they're not making that money. If you add that up, 2,080 hours times that, $91.87 an hour. You're making $191,000 a year, and $191,089.60 is what you're making a year. That's what you're making. I mean, that's the top 5% earners in the country, not owing anybody anything. You're debt free. I don't know where you're going to go for that. Give the trades a shot. Next slide, please. So there we go. I mean, those are the numbers right there. 91.87. That's it. I mean, that's journeyman money as it is right now. Do I see where guys are going to be, you know, 4 years from now, because our apprenticeship's 4 years? Maybe a price, I can see the wage being up to $60 an hour, you know. So if you run that numbers over here, it's about 202,000 4 years from now. If you guys came in on January 1 and you had your apprenticeship come in here, and 4 years from now, you're making over $200,000 a year. I bet you it's more than your family and friends are making. Next slide. So that's where you could go and figure out where all your information is, ibw9educate.org. All the stuff when our apprenticeship's going to open up, it's going to be on our Facebook, our social media, our Instagram, all the stuff that's over. If your social media down, get on our Facebook pages, take a look at the stuff. You know, we also have a show that we had is Built to Last. You can Google IBW Local 9 Built to Last, and there's a bunch of videos that come along with it about different things that we do. And that's it. Next slide, please. Any questions? That's what I got. So I mean, these are the numbers. It doesn't hurt to give the trades a shot. Get the CDL. How do you get your CDL? Equus over here, they'll get you dialed in. Tollway's got grant money to get you set up to get your CDL. It costs $3 grand. So, but you have to sign up and get this going right away, because you got to apply with us come January, February. Okay. So you need to get your behinds in a CDL class because it's going to take you about 8 weeks to get your driver's license. So if you're serious about being a local 9 guy or girl, get signed up, get dialed in with this. You can't ponder around. I'm going to think about this. I'm going to do this. You do what you want. But when the apprenticeship closes, I don't know when we're going to open it up again. So we had to shut it off at 200 some people that applied because we were overwhelmed. We had, we want to make sure we cut it off. We don't want to have 10,000 people show up because we're grabbing. We want to turn around over here. We don't want to get 20,000 people in the local and we don't have work for them. So what we do is we want to make sure when our guys, our brothers and sisters come into this, that we have work for them. I'm saying right now, with all that Terry said, with all the work, the highway work, the infrastructure bill that's going on with everything that's going on, we are needing people. I need people. The local 9 needs people. 701 needs people. We need to build this, our infrastructure. Everybody talks, it doesn't matter what politician you are, Republican, Democrat, they all talk about infrastructure. And everybody and their brother agrees that America's infrastructure is in dire straits that needs to get help. And they're about ready to build America. And why would you not be part of it and get yourself a foothold in a nice career? That's all I got, guys.
Thank you so much for that presentation, Kevin. And with the conclusion of Kevin's presentation, we have now reached the conclusion of all of our presentations for the folks that we did have on the call today. So as you see up on your screen, we have reached the Q&A portion of the event. I have prompted a lot of you folks. If you do have questions, enter them into the chat. And of course, we'll get to your question as soon as possible. I'll go ahead and turn things over. I think I see Terry unmuted. I don't know, Terry, if there's anything that you'd like to add.
I'd just like to second what Kevin said. That was a very powerful presentation that the electricians and everybody put on. I think everybody knows that I came from ComEd, and there's an old joke about a vice president at ComEd called in a lineman, and the lineman came in to see the vice president, and the lineman said, "Sir, can I help you?" And the vice president looked at him and said, "I just want to meet the guy who makes a lot more than I do." So I think people don't understand that these are really great jobs to come in, and before you know it, you're making more than your mom and your dad had ever conceived you could make in your entire lifetime. So anything we can do to help you out, we're here to help you out.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Terry. And again, I want to encourage folks that we do have on the line, ask any questions that you have. You have a prime opportunity, obviously, right now to get any questions that you do have answered. You've got a wealth of information and resources that are on this call right now. So please take advantage of that. Do have some questions here. Not exactly sure who this would be directed towards, but this individual asked, what is the starting rate for center road construction workers? Not sure which of the unions or presenters that would be able to answer or address that question.
I would say was that my echo?
Go ahead, Terry, or any of the folks that can answer that.
I would say basically that would be a labor union position that you want to look into. We don't have the exact salary for you right now, but we can maybe get somebody from the laborers who can give you an answer to that question.
And looks like we did receive a response in the chat from that individual thanking us, saying that it was answered during the union presentation. So we'll go ahead and move on to our next question that I do have here. I did receive a few personal messages in the chat. One of the questions that I got was, how often do you offer orientations? And building off that question, are they in person or do you offer virtual appointments? So we'll let each of the labor organizations answer that question.
All right, so as far as bricklayers and craft workers, we hold orientation once a year for all trades. And so we accept the application till the December 24 for the potential candidates for our trades. for a coming year, at least for now. So whether they apply for bricklaying, tuck pointing, tile, or terrazzo, that's the deadline. It's on December 24th. They got to come in person to fill out the application, and then following year, sometime January, we have the orientation. Then after that, there will be aptitude test, and after that, we have interviews, and we combine both scores from interviews and aptitude test. I hope that answered the question.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Stan. And we'll go ahead and move on to TJ and then Kevin.
So we also are once a year for our application process. You have until, like I said, our deadline is now September. We just finished up with our upcoming year. So you're now applying for 2023. But I do want to mention we have two other programs that we offer. Kevin was mentioning a lot of the green energy projects. So there's a lot of solar. As I just said, there's a $30 million grant that was just released for increasing solar opportunities in Illinois. So we have a solar summer worker program. And with that one, we're using this as kind of a pre-apprenticeship approach. So for instance, I just was working with women in trades, which we have a women in trades group here in our home local. I was with those ladies last night, but we had our union meeting, we had a discussion. We just brought in 5 more trainees into our solar summer worker program. So we have a lot of outreach. We're always looking for diversity. Terry hit that off right away. We need to diversify our workforce. We need people working in their communities because it means that much more to you, right? Like when you drive by and you look at that and you said, I built that, you tell that to your family. Trust me, every tradesperson does it. My kids are like, yeah, Dad, we know. And so one of my contracts, I worked for Precision Control Systems of Chicago. One of my contracts was the Tollway. And so we're driving down the Tollway. I'm like, hey, you know, there's a tunnel underneath us right now. It goes from this side of the highway to this side of the highway. Hey, you see this bridge? If you go up on top of that, there's the air intake. And then when we were up there, this happened. So you have all these stories and these memories. You live in that community. That's the pride you put into that. It's not a job now, right? It's fun. It's you're giving back. So we have opportunities. I said, reaching out to these groups is really key because we do have opportunities that come up. Kevin and Terry are working on this CDL licensing thing right now. We have jobs when wind farms were going in and those were really heavy. We had a big push in a program like that where we did the same thing. We needed CDL people that can drive the equipment. We do the same thing. We operate our own equipment on job sites. So we have people that are required. If you're working for Meade, which again, a lot of hybrid stuff, you're working local 9 and 701 at the same time, you have to be able to drive their equipment. So we have CDL needs as well. But we have a trainee position and a solar summer worker position. So when you're in here applying, you will see information about that. Tell us, we put your name on the list, and it's literally first come, first serve. So we just go down the list, and as Kevin hit, it's, you know, these jobs, when they call us, that's when they need the help, you know. So a lot of it is, it's tough. We try to give you as much warning as possible. We don't always have the 2-week time frame. The thing is, you are going to have to do a drug test, and you are going to have to do an OSHA 10 and a CPR first aid. So you have at least that timeline to tell your current employer, like, hey, and I have people right now, they tell their employers ahead of time, I've applied for these positions. If they come up, it's mass exodus, I got to go, right? And so they kind of pre-warn them, and their contractors are like, yeah, I totally understand that. It's too good to pass up. Always ways around it, but there are other programs available. We have the trainee and the solar summer worker. We put you to work when those jobs are present. It's not off of that timeline. You do have to apply for our apprenticeship to be accepted to one of those programs. And, you know, the big things is what we said, soft skills, showing up. And this is what we use it for. We send out evaluations on you every month, and we see, are you showing up on time? Are you able to follow instructions? Soft skill set stuff, right? You are in a random drug pool. And again, marijuana, you got to remember OSHA is a federal agency. So if you are on a job site, OSHA takes precedence over state law. So there's no marijuana consumption or anything like that. But drug test, OSHA, CPR, those types of things, you're going to work and we start you off at just about $18 an hour. So again, no skill set coming into this. You need a soft skill set, and you're doing a pre-apprenticeship. So now when you go through our process, you go through the aptitude test, and then you go to the interview, and you're interviewing with the employers. they may already employ you as a trainee. So now when they're asking you questions, you speak directly about the job you're on, directly with the workforce that you're working with. You have a direct relationship with those questions and that correlation. So that's what we have.
Excellent. Thank you for that, TJ. And Kevin, anything to add?
TJ, man, you nail it for me. So it's perfect. So I mean, that's great. I'm just glad TJ goes that. Yeah, our apprenticeship, we opened it up twice last year. So, you know, to see how the workflow is, because we didn't know how Rona was going to be. We didn't know how the jobs are going to be. It was challenging times for everybody, all the trades. They were trying to separate the yard. People needed workers, but they didn't want to bring new people in because they thought people had Rona on the streets and nobody had Rona within that. So I don't know. So what happens is right now we're going to open it up in January. That's where we're going to open it up. If we close it and we know that the contractors need more work as the infrastructure bills are getting passed, the tollway Terry starts spending his money with the tollway. He starts rocking that out. Then we're going to open it up again, and then we're going to get it going. You know what I mean? So that's where it's at, so, but yeah, so right now we'll open the damn thing up as many times as we need to do to get the workers on the damn job site. That's what we need. All right. That's all. That's where we're at.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Kevin. And another question that I got here that was a direct message in the chat, just kind of another general informational question as well. And we'll go ahead and work our way through all the union presenters as well. Do I need an appointment to visit the locations, or what are your business hours? Can you all share that with the folks on the call?
All right, as far as bricklayers are craft workers, so we open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. till 3 p.m. to fill out the application for one of our programs.
Awesome. Thank you, Stan. And TJ?
We are open from 8 till 1 and 1 till 4 every Tuesday.
Excellent. And Kevin?
Yeah, the school is open because your application will be handed into the school. So they're 8 to 4 Monday through Thursday. They're gone on Friday. TJ, maybe I work that out for them so they get off on Fridays too, but
Awesome. Thank you, Kevin. Another question that I got here in the chat as well, and I do believe TJ might have touched upon this during his presentation, but this individual asked, if you are in Cook County but planning to relocate to DuPage, can you still apply? I think TJ touched upon that topic, but I don't know if Kevin or Stan, if there's anything else that you'd like to add as far as geographical requirements.
All right, as our bricklayers and our craft workers, we cover 9 counties out in Chicagoland area. So all the way from Will County on the south through Cook, DuPage, Lake, Grundy, Kane, Kendall, and McHenry. So it doesn't matter where you live, you still belong to Local 21. Bricklayers are our craft workers, and that's our jurisdiction counties. 9 counties on Chicagoland.
Excellent. Thank you, Stan.
Daniel, can I add something? Hi, everyone.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to also just mention that that's why the construction works programs are here, those delegate agencies. They will make sure that you're connected with a career coach to ensure that you're marking off all those requirements that we're speaking of today. So making sure you're able to fill out the application correctly, that you're prepared for those exams, that you are aware of the tests, the drug tests that will be taken. So those career coaches will work hand in hand with you to make sure that you are successfully going through the processes being spoken of. So we'll have that link again at the end of working with someone hand in hand to make sure you get through that process well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Natasha. Another question that I received here as a direct message as well was kind of a unique case, an individual that lives outside of the Chicagoland area, but is interested in some of the opportunities that were covered here today. Would these folks be excluded or precluded, if you will, from applying for any of these positions that you all have available if they're willing to be flexible as far as mobility is concerned? Would those opportunities be open to them as well if they want to apply for your apprenticeships?
for Local 9, I don't care where the hell you live. I don't care. You can live in Indiana. We got people live in Wisconsin. You can live in Tennessee. Long as you are on the job site on time, you fly, you drive, you whatever you do. Long as you got means to get to the job site on time and willing to work some overtime and make some money, I don't care where you live. That's not my problem. All I know is if you want to live in the mountaintop, live in the mountaintop. I'll see you at 6 a.m. You know, that's your job to commute all day long. That's not my problem. My problem is you on the job site. So if you can live or cook, Kankakee, Grundy, Will County, you get around that, I'm square.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Kevin. And Stan or TJ, I don't know if there's anything you'd like to add to that.
I'm with Kevin. We echo the same thing. It's I don't care where you live. Again, your responsibility starts when that job time starts and when school starts. So that's you're an adult. I go back to it. You figure that out for yourself. You know, understand if you're working in Chicago, you have great public transportation. You can probably get anywhere you need at any time. Once you leave Chicagoland and you start getting out closer to the suburbs and stuff like that, it's not as easy to rely on public transportation. And that's why most of these, you're seeing these job requirements is you have to have reliable transportation, you know. Now I have a person, a trainee right now who does not have a driver's license, and God bless his grandmother. She drives him every day. She's there on time, and I love her. She is great. Every time I see her, I give her a hug because she's just a phenomenal woman. She's made sure that they're there and they're accountable and they're on time. And so again, we understand you guys, a lot of you, especially if you're younger, you're starting out a new career. You may not have all these things yet, but this is what we want to provide for you. But you do have that responsibility to get there to the job site and get that stuff done for yourself.
I mean, as far as on the bricklayer side, the same thing. We don't care where you live. It's just a matter of getting you on time. That's a big thing. That's the biggest issue. Most of the time, it's getting it on time. So if you live in our area, most likely you're gonna make it on time. But we don't care. We have members that live in Wisconsin. We have members that live in Indiana, and as long as they make you on time, that's all we care. You got to have a good work ethic. That's all I can say.
Awesome. Thank you to you three for answering that question. Stan, while we got you on the line here, and you may have addressed this when you were talking about, you know, the next class or what have you for apprentices. This individual asked, when is the orientation anticipated for 2022? Are all the slots for next year filled? I don't know if you can answer that second question off the top of your head or not, but
I mean, okay, we don't have yet the scheduled date. In the prior years, that was beginning of January, usually second or third week of January would have orientation. The following week would be aptitude test, and with as soon as we get the results, we would schedule for interviews. That's for bricklayers, similar way for tuck pointers and tile setters. So as soon as we set the date, we'll probably post it on our website at BAC number 2 school.org. But it will be, I would say, early January, second week of January. That would be our orientation. That's why our deadline is still basically Christmas to fill out the application if you want to be considered our next pre-job training program for all the trades.
thank you, Stan. Another great question that came into the chat here, and this will be for all of our folks on the call as well. Does any of the unions that presented here today, are there any sort of age cutoff requirements? You know, I know you all spoke on the minimums of 18 years old, but is there any sort of age
No,
cutoff?
there is no age cutoff. I mean, you could be 60 years old. If you want to learn your trade, you're more than welcome. With some trades, it's a little harder, especially if someone didn't work in construction. It's a little bit harder when you have to have the, you know, hand and eye coordination, but there is no age set, so you could enjoy it anytime.
Yeah,
I
I have a 50-year-old, sorry, Kevin, I have a 53-year-old first-year apprentice right now. So no cutoff. I will tell you, like, it's interesting because I have a 19-year-old and a 53-year-old both in the same class. It's a dynamic classroom at that point in time. You have somebody who's youthful and energetic and coming up and somewhat immature, and then you have the maturity of this 50. I think it was 2 weeks ago, got up in front of the class. I mean, he was teary-eyed and he's like, I wish I had this opportunity at your age because I didn't know about it and I didn't take it. And to echo what Kevin said, most of our people, I'd say average apprentice is 25 to 26 years old. They already have college debts. Most of them have a 4-year degree. And the largest percentage of them say, I have all this debt. I wish I would have known about this or done this earlier. And so, you know, we're very active at trying to get that word out and preventing people from acquiring that much debt. Yeah, no, there's no age restriction. Apply however old you are, you can come in and apply. Just have to be above 18.
Same thing. I got my father in the trade at 50. He was doing something that he didn't want to do. I go, why are you jacking around, Pops? I could try it out. So he climbed his first pole at 50. He's like, and he loves it. So yeah, so now he's retired now. I think he's garage sailing somewhere. He might be out in 701 area, freaking on the garage sale over there in DuPage County. So, but yeah, he's loving life. He's a proud local line guy. So yeah, no age, long as you're physically fit to do the job, because you're coming in and you're a young cat, you know, so you're doing it, you know, you're on the low man on the pole, totem pole, literally. I mean, that's what it's going on. So you got to be able to, if you're older and you're not physically fit, this ain't going to be your jam. But if you're in good shape, hey, there's no age requirement. We got guys in their 50s, and some of my 40-year-old guys look worse than the freaking 50-year-old guys. So depends how you take care of yourself. So yeah, no age require. No, absolutely not. No.
Awesome. Thank you all for that. With that, it looks like I have reached the end of the questions that I do have in here.
Nothing more. How many people are we talking to? We got to test the questions here.
What I'll go ahead and do, Kevin, will of course, you know, prompt folks. If you do have any additional questions for our, you know, presenters that are on the line, please feel free to enter them into the chat. Again, you know, I know I'm being repetitive here, but you all have a wonderful opportunity to speak with folks with a lot of knowledge and information that they can share with you. So, you know, do take advantage of that and don't overlook that opportunity. If you have any questions, don't be shy. Ask, and of course, we'll get an answer for you. In the meantime, I don't know if, you know, any of our presenters on the line here today, maybe Terry, anything else that you want to add?
I'd just like to say, TJ, Kevin, Stan, you guys are amazing. Thank everyone for putting this together and giving this great workshop. I got to tell you, I learned a lot today. And, you know, I'm 59. I'd almost like to take you up on picking up a new trade, but I'm too old for that right now by my ideas, probably not by yours. But thank you, everyone. This is probably one of the best presentations I've been a part of, and I'm honored to have been a part of this one. So thank you, TJ in particular. Thank you, Kevin in particular. Thank you, Stan. God, this was motivating. If you aren't motivated after this, I don't know what it takes to motivate you. Check your heartbeat. But thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So I will go ahead and again, we'll have a last call for any additional questions for our presenters that are on the line before we wrap things up. I know we had a cutoff of noon for today's event, so we still do have approximately 12 minutes or so for you to ask questions. We'll give it a few minutes here to you know, ask any last minute questions that you do have for these folks. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and cover a few things as far as next steps are concerned, and then allow any of our workforce partners that want to make a few closing remarks to have an opportunity to do so as well. So I just do want to reiterate that the session today has been recorded. So if you joined late, if there was any sort of information that was covered quickly or anything you just want to refresh on before you kind of move to those next steps, if you will, I will be uploading this recording to the Illinois WorkNet YouTube channel, under the Virtual Job Fairs playlist within the next 48 hours. So do be on the lookout there for the recording for this session, where of course you'll be able to review everything that was covered here today. If you did register for this event as a job seeker or somebody who wants to be a prospective apprentice for any of the trades that were covered here today, we did collect obviously all of your registration information off the back end when you registered for the event. So I will be sharing that information with our workforce partners with the folks over at Illinois Tollway, and of course, all of the unions that were on the line as well. So do expect that those folks will, follow up with you for, additional information and next steps as well. Looks like we did receive an additional question in the chat here. This individual asked, I'm a local 4 second-year apprentice. Who can I contact to apply? I'll go ahead and elaborate, I think, on that question, what this individual is trying to ask. Is there a specific union or an organization that presented here today that you're looking to apply with? And I see you're talking about being a second-year apprentice. What organization are you currently working for? And I guess that begs another question that comes, at least to my mind, for the unions that we do have on the line. If somebody is currently enrolled, I don't know if that's the correct term, as an apprentice in another labor union, can they switch to become an apprentice in another organization, or does that exclude them from being able to do so?
No.
So there is a federal law that you cannot belong to more than one labor organization at a time. So they would have to drop the card in the program they're currently in. My suggestion would be you apply first, go through the process, and then on post offer, that's when you would make your decision. So for us, we have a pre-offer, which is application interview process. And then that's going through the steps of drug testing, the agility testing, and all the things that we have in place. After you pass all of that, you will be given an opportunity to go out to a job. At that point in time, you have to make a decision. Do I want to leave the program that I'm currently in and drop that card and sign on with the new labor union, or do I want to stay where I'm at? So that would be your choice at that venture. But yeah, if you're a laborer and you're like, hey, I'm listening to these programs, and tile mason or electrician or something it sounds like an opportunity that I would like to take. And being a laborer, you see every other building trade out on those jobs, so you kind of get a pretty good sense of what we do. Again, do what makes you happy, what you think you would like. So go through that process. And then I also saw, I think it was Alejandro asked about the veteran, who can I contact? Helmets to Hard Hat is a great organization. You can contact them. They have outreach to all of us. And then again, going through our process after you hit the post offer, we have the documents here. So on our application process, we ask if you are a veteran. And then once you get the post offer, we'll automatically contact you, ask if you have any benefits still, or if you've already used your GI Bill. If you have not, then you can use your GI Bill towards the program. So again, it's tuition free here in Warrenville. The way the GI Bill is set up, the post 9/11 GI Bill, is you get your subsidy is based off of the housing prices in Warrenville. So our veterans that are in our program, they get a pretty good stipend from their GI Bill as they're going through our program. That helps them get in their first house and do that type of stuff. So yeah, there's good opportunities with that. So helmets to hard hats, or once you get into our programs, we all work with all of our veteran outreaches and make sure that you guys have the opportunity to get into your GI benefits.
Perfect. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Yes. I mean, a lot of our military guys, we love putting military out. I know 701 does the same. And it's like, yeah, these guys, when they go through their apprenticeship, they're like, man, I graduated. Now I gotta take a little pay decrease with getting that extra subsidy, that money coming into the get. So, but yeah, it's fantastic.
Well, I do think specifically, I think TJ, you nailed that question. Looks like that individual was satisfied, if you will, with that answer. So thank you for that. Again, we still do have approximately, let's see here, 7 minutes left. If you do have any last minute questions for these folks, I would encourage you to ask those now. If not, we'll kind of begin the official wrap up of today's session. For the folks at NAJC, folks at CCWP, Central States SCR, even Terry with the Tollway, is there anything else that you would like to add for the folks that are on the call today before we go ahead and officially close out the session?
I think there was a question about veteran firms too. if there is a veteran firm that wants to do business, I think the person said the Illinois Department of Transportation, we're the Tollway, and I really can't speak for the Department of Transportation. However, there's an organization called Elite Service Disabled Veterans Office Bureau. So it's Elite SDVOB Network. They're great at helping veterans get certified and find jobs. So Elite SDVOB Network, I'd certainly look into them, okay?
Awesome. Thank you for that, Terry. And again, I don't know, Anissa, any of the folks over at NAJC, if you'd like to make any sort of closing remarks, but if not, we'll kind of go up again. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to take this opportunity and thank all the participants and the presenters. And if there's anything that our office or center can do to help you go through the steps or the process and how to get registered with the project that we have, the Illinois Tollway Construction Works, please don't hesitate to contact us. Email us or call us, or just let us know how we can assist, to get you through the steps that you need to go through to get registered, and then for us to connect you with one of these wonderful opportunities that were presented today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anissa. It doesn't look like we received any additional questions here in the chat from folks. I do believe we addressed all the ones that I received personally and that were addressed to everyone. So with that, I think we'll go ahead and wrap things up for today's session. Huge thank you to all the presenters who carved out time out of your busy schedules to meet with us and present today. A lot of great information, a lot of great opportunities out there for folks on the call, and folks will be tuning in obviously at a later date as well. Also want to obviously give a shout out and a big thanks to the folks that joined as prospective job seekers, apprentices, so on and so forth. Again, you got a lot of great information, a lot of great opportunities at your fingertips. So again, be on the lookout for that recording if you want to review anything before you follow up with those folks. And I know all of them provided their contact information as well. Terry, I don't know if there's anything else that you'd like to add before we go ahead and end things officially. But if
Nothing
not,
for me. I thought it was a great event. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you to everyone. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.
Thank you, guys.